Joining me right now is Florida Congressman, House Budget Committee and Small Business Committee member Byron Donalds. Congressman Donalds, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. We've been covering the World Economic Forum all morning and all week. And one of the topics is the potential food crisis looming, dominating the conversations there. There's also talk of a possible sugar shortage. I mean, look, you thought it couldn't get any worse. First, we've got 40-year highs in inflation of everything we buy every day. Then we've got an inability to feed our babies with the baby formula shortage. Now we're talking about the potential for a famine.
Yeah, this is not good news, Maria, at all, across, not just in America, but across the globe. One of the things that we've always been concerned with respect to the Russian invasion into Ukraine is what's going to happen with fertilizer stock for farming across the globe. We kind of knew this was going to be an impact. Some of the early data was suggesting it was going to be an impact. And of course, here we go. What makes this worse is that here in the United States, if we had a robust energy apparatus, it's not just drilling for oil, that's important here at home, but it's also having the necessary refining capacity, which we don't have in the United States. So that it's not just about getting gasoline to gas pumps, but it's also all of the derivative products that come from oil, that come from petroleum products, one of them being fertilizer. And so because you're going to have a fertilizer shortage, in a lot of respects, it is going to lead to some food shortages. So it's going to need a lot of people, basically changing policy and changing their ideas of how they feel about oil and natural gas to try to get us through this current crisis.
Well, I mean, you make exactly the right point, and you've got an op-ed out on the Hill, which is titled "Soaring Diesel Prices Spells Bad News for America." You write this, quote, "Our economy depends on this fuel type, and without diesel, America's economy collapses." Congressman, what I've been saying over and over again is bad policy results in bad outcomes. Diesel prices are at $5.53 a gallon today, and the price of regular gasoline is at another all-time high.
Yeah, listen, you're absolutely correct. It is disastrous policy. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that it's hard to get some of these petroleum products to the refineries in order to create the necessary conditions to have diesel prices be stable or even fall. So we can't even refine it in the United States the way we could maybe a decade ago, 15 years ago. That's number one. That's really because of bad economic and energy policy from Democrats, specifically in blue states, because their state departments of environmental protection have stopped refineries from being able to be maintained altogether. And so what happens is these refineries aren't there. The other thing we have is, like I said, there's so much more demand for petroleum derivatives. Whether you're talking about contact lenses, wireless earbuds, cell phones, TVs, clothes, any product you want to talk about, there's a derivative of oil in that. So the demand for petroleum products is massively increased. Our refining capacity in the United States is actually down from where it used to be. This is faulty leadership that's been happening for quite a long time. It started in the Obama administration, and we have to get serious about refining capacity in the United States.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately leading to a potential recession. We're waiting on some economic data this morning. In about a minute, we're going to get the GDP out. It's expected to show a contraction of 1.3%. So I'll interrupt you when that number comes out. But real quick on the Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussmann's trial, he may take the stand today. What have we learned in this Durham probe trial from your standpoint?
What I've learned is what I pretty much already knew, but now it's coming out in the court of law, is that the DNC has been corrupt. Hillary Clinton, we know she's corrupt, but also it's at the upper echelons of the FBI. When you have FBI agents trying to request to get more background information on Alpha Bank, and that was being denied by people in the upper echelons of the FBI, it's a serious problem with respect to the credibility of the FBI, not just during that time period, but going forward. Because what else is the upper echelons of the FBI denying additional information on? It's a serious problem. Members of Congress have a responsibility to restore that agency to its former greatness.
You're absolutely right. You are spot on. The FBI is complicit here, and we want to see some accountability because they knew that the dossier and the Alpha Bank story were fake, and they still pursued FISA warrants on a sitting president's campaign and his officials. Imagine that. If they can spy on a sitting president of the United States, what can they do to the rest of us?
You're absolutely right. If they could go after Donald Trump. And let me back up for a moment. For all the people who may not be fans of Donald Trump on the other side of the political aisle, this is about Donald Trump, but it's also not about Donald Trump. You're absolutely right, Maria. If they can do that to him, they can do it to anybody. So people need to get off their political high horses on this thing. And we have to get back to credible institutions in the United States that do their job, are not politicized, and protect all Americans and serve all Americans. That's what this really is about.
It's what I say. It's what I say all the time. This is not about Donald Trump. This is about fairness. And we appreciate you joining us this morning. Congressman, we'll be watching all of your efforts. Thanks very much.